Has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said
no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not. My client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi, Dad. I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom.
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Chapter 1, From Missing and Endangered.
I think that's kind of funny. I had the clown up and I pulled up your your comment and I just looked at the name. That's kind of funny. I like that name. Dorky Disney Mom. That's awesome. Always love a little creativity. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day. Welcome. I'm Chris with the Mob Crew, as you well know. Been covering the Sebastian case for what feels like a lifetime now. It should have been solved, in my opinion, a long time ago. I think it's been 2 years too long. And unfortunately, this case, especially with YouTube, I think I saw some people talking about, certain channels, that covered it. And yes, it is. I think there's just a few channels that are covering this case, and the less channels that are covering it, unless there's something like big, that someone discovers, YouTube, the algorithm will pick that up, and it's just gonna fade. Sadly, Sebastian's case is just kind of gonna fade into the background. And I mean, it's been happening. Me and others have kept it alive. And I mean, when I say me and others, other YouTubers, even if it's a short little video or a live whatever, even if we disagree on stuff, if you're talking about Sebastian, that's great. But again, when they're... you guys can hear me okay, right? I thought I turned up the volume. Oh, good. Oh, good. Got me scared there for a minute. But anyway, we've talked about this report. We wanted to get this out, because we've kind of worked on it what it feels like a year. It's almost going to be a year. I think we started it in like maybe fall of last year. But, and we wanted to we were kind of aiming for like the 2-year anniversary, but then we had the cemetery stuff come out, and so that took, all the time away to focus on all that new data. And I think that's going to be huge, important thing to for the FBI. I mean, obviously, I was sent to Sumner County. I believe FBI may have been sent it as well, but I'm not sure like how much they investigated. So we want to put obviously a full thing together. FBI is going to be the main one, but of course it'll send to, I'm assuming, all of the agencies. But we really are hoping for the FBI because just a um, in the case of Dylan Rounds, I've mentioned many times before, the case that I covered and was boots on the ground out there searching for him. His mother, the fearless mother, Candace Cooley, out on every YouTube channel, news outlet, you name it, she was on it. I mean, she is fierce, and of course now she has doing her own thing, trying to help other people out, which is I think great because I think Candace. One thing that's great about Candace is I think she was really good at doing interviews and a people person, and she's blunt and straightforward, and she's very well spoken, and that really helped. And of course, long story short, um, I always like to bring this up because I think this can bring up a lot of hope. Is a particular agency, county was lead on the Dylan Rounds case that happened here in Utah back in 2022 or 23. I think it's 22. Man, time flies. It all kind of blends together. I believe 22. And it was, I forget, I want to say Elko had it first. And they weren't really cooperating with the FBI. FBI was out there from the beginning, but they weren't sharing stuff with the FBI. And then Candace Cooley went around, did the rounds on YouTube, national media, you name it, she was on it. And eventually they got it into the neighboring county, which was Weber County. And Weber County was more than happy to work with the FBI. And I know I've kind of repeated this before, but I just only mention this because I think this could happen with this case. Get, another agency, county, whatever, fresh eyes. And long story short, they worked with the FBI, and I mean, right away, arrests were made. They arrested the guy that was the killer. And they seized a bunch of things that should have been seized a long time ago. And there would have been a lot more evidence that they would have collected, but it got thrown away by Brenner, who was the sole suspect in the case. And I can only imagine they got very lucky because he threw Dylan Round's phone in a pond, and luckily they retrieved that, and that had the smoking gun evidence. After he sadly shot Dylan Rounds, he took his phone, and when he was cleaning his gun in his trailer, he handled his Dylan Rounds phone and actually somehow pressed record, I guess when he was pulling it out of his pocket or whatever, and he like filmed himself cleaning his gun, and he had blood on him, and there was a timestamp. They had the metadata, and it was just after Dylan Rounds would have arrived at the what they called the grain shed. And so it was, the smoking gun. It was amazing. It was a miracle because if they would have not gotten that, I don't know where they would be at because God knows what evidence he got rid of. So anyway, back to this case. If you can, please hit that like button. And if you would like to, please, I don't ask this much, but if you would like to show support through PayPal or through the chat. Usually my revenue comes 60 to 70% of ads on YouTube, and then I would say 30 to 40 depending on donations doing live. But Sebastian's case, especially this past month, has been almost not good, and it's nobody's fault. Just unfortunately, a case is 2.5 years. I want to say 2.5. It's getting there. It just kind of goes stale and people move on. But we want to, you know, swing for the fences. And this is something that not only I, but others have worked on and done an amazing job doing research. And this is more than just the people that have worked on the document itself. There's people that obviously help contribute behind the scenes by just, documenting stuff or ideas. Again, so it's a team effort. And again, I always mention I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys still on this case. Although I am going to have to kind of rotate from this case to others because right now, sadly, his case, it just the algorithm. I put out a video today just to kind of see where things are at. And yeah, if I would have put that video out like a year ago or 6 months ago, it would have probably done like 10 times better. But sadly, it's just, um, when there's nothing really to talk about, unfortunately, we've dug everything that we can. I mean, I'm sure there's still something there, but we have pretty much just, scraped the bottom here. But anyway, so now that leads us to the report, which I do have a small little screenshot. It doesn't show much because obviously we want to wait, but I have some ideas, and I want to get your guys' ideas as well. Oh, thank you, Sassy. What's funny is we went to the pond twice, for anybody that's familiar with the Dylan Rounds case, because it's the only little pond. It's the only water source out there for miles. And when we went out there, there was a family not far from, there's only like 6 people that live out in that area within like a 5-mile radius, give or take. And we met one of the families. They said they thought that the FBI had searched that pond, and we were actually going to go out and search it, like, because it's not big. It's like the size of a commercial swimming pool that you would take your kids to at a small water park, if that, not even like, and yeah, we were going to search it because it's not deep anyway. Long story short, that phone was like it's more or less, I can't see it on our camera, but I know we were like standing within 5 to 10 feet of it, which is wild. But I'm kind of glad we didn't grab it because I would have I would have put it in a bag. But what I didn't know is if you ever are recovering evidence such as electronics out of water, you need to keep it in water. So you would seal it in a bag of water, because if you just took it out of the water and then just put it in a baggie, it would oxidize the metals in the cell phone or whatever and actually ruin it. So I'm glad we didn't do that. So maybe it was a blessing that they told us it was searched, because we were literally going out to search it and we didn't. But we did learn something very interesting, especially about handling electronics. Yeah, I know, Sandy. I know. You should know we're not going to stop. At least I'm not going to stop. But I do like, because obviously this is what I do for a living, and I've always said, like, I don't need, as long as I can pay my bills and get by through the month, money is not, I think there's a lot of people that get corrupted by money. Maybe not, maybe they're not, I don't know. I want to get into psychology, but yeah. But unfortunately, this case is sadly, usually we'd have like 400 to 500 people in here and then get up to 8 to 1,000. Unfortunately, it's just, it is what it is. So let's talk about the evidence and what's kind of a little bit of in the report. This is just kind of a little sneak peek, and why these particular things I think are very important. And one of the things I've been doing as well is I've been using Chat GPT to ask like how, even though we have a mentor that has already kind of guided us on how to kind of put together a Google document, and have it kind of organized. And then I, asked ChatGPT, what are some tips? And, it says 5 to 15 pages maximum. Have like a 1-page summary, and then a timeline, date and time, event. And then it definitely emphasizes, keep your stuff to 80 to 90% facts and observations, and then 10 to 20% theories and questions. And it kind of gives you examples of, if you start speculating a lot, it might deter, the agents or whoever's reading it. So I've definitely learned a lot, but there's something in here that I asked ChatGPT that I was going to put as like a dessert, not for the FBI, but for the community after we send this off to the FBI and all that. And when I put this in, the response I got, I was a little surprised, and I am stoked because there is some really good information it gave me, and I will share that in a bit. Oh, okay. I will get that. Yeah, let's do that real quick as people come in. And thank you to everybody that are coming in, because you guys are diehard. I don't want to say diehard mob crew fans, but you guys are diehard when it comes to Sebastian Rogers' case. Not saying the people that aren't here, because obviously some people may be working, but I'm just saying you guys are amazing to do that. Yeah, I don't have Zelle, but that's okay. If you can't donate, no worries. I'm just saying, if you can, awesome. I don't really ask that much. I know it's kind of pops up in Nightbot, but I would love to be able to continue covering Sebastian still frequently enough. The report is going to come out no matter what, but it just would help to have, that assurance that I'm not have to worry about, paying my rent or something. So anyway, Show Poodles, I don't know how to do PayPal or anything. Thank you, Chris. No worries, Show Poodle. Oh, please don't worry if you can't. And those that are doing the jewels, thank you, Fly Girl, Little Sister, Faces of America. Man, I showed this yesterday or the day before how I don't know why when somebody sends a jewel, it's like super small. Courtney Baker, you keep this up. Good work. You and Team Sebastian. Thank you so much. And yeah, that goes out to not just me, but yeah, so many behind the scenes that, again, working off the back of giants who have been amazing behind the scenes. Geneva says, thank you. Keep this case going. Thank you, Geneva. Die hard. Been with me for over 3 years. Thank you so much, Geneva. Thank you, Fly Girl. I will snag it here in just a minute. And so, thanks, Travis. I appreciate that. Yeah, while I'm feeling better, okay. I haven't seen it yet, Fly Girl, but, and then I just got it. That's funny. I've told you guys I have metal above my roof. Maybe I have some metal in my head too. I'm not sure. I got one from Geneva. Thank you, Geneva. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Thank you so much to both of you guys. God bless, Fly Girl. I had to kind of think about that for a second because I know some people have their full names and I know some people want to be discreet. Okay, so let's talk about kind of the first part of the document, right? I'm not going through all the document. I'm just kind of highlighting. And then I'm going to, like I said, there's something that ChatGPT told me that I should put in the report that I wasn't thinking about. And I think it's going to add a lot to it that I think is going to be great. So, obviously, premeditation, right? I think that is a big one. And I think the evidence, right? So, this isn't just speculation or theory. I think we have evidence to support, I guess, a theory, but, and that is the cemetery footage that we'd gone over through kind of the winter time, I guess would be best way to kind of generalize it. But we know that there was some strange activity going on the night before he went missing. So it's the 25th. It's early in the morning. Remember, that is not when he went missing. This is early morning. This would be technically, give or take, 20 to 24 hours before he goes missing, approximately. And I think this is kind of like a dry run, or a mix between a dry run and scouting. And, when we were going through all of this, I showed you guys that when we look at the dates before and after, there is no activity going on during these hours. So either it just happened to be just a random major coincidence that there was some either kind of rug deal, which I don't know why you would need to go in the middle of a cemetery to do that, and do that 2 nights in a row. Usually, I don't think they would go to the same spot. The only other thing I could think of is that people are ghost hunting, but I mean, it's not a big cemetery. It's not, as far as I know, it's not like known to be haunted. And again, on both sides here, as you can see, we have the 25th and then we have the 26th. And although the time is slightly, it's like 20-minute difference, it's almost identical on what goes on the day before he goes missing and then the night or early morning of that he allegedly went missing. And we believe this is a staging area, and this would be approximately 400 to 500 yards from the home of Sebastian, well within, if you're trying to be covert and worried about like geofencing or cellular data from your cell phones, you could easily communicate through walkie-talkies. And so I think this not only shows premeditation, but I think this is something that law enforcement missed entirely. And again, when we first sent this over to them, they did kind of, give us a thumbs up. I don't want to quote or anything because I think, when there were certain YouTubers that were speaking with, was it Carter or whatever, there was a couple of emails back, and I think maybe Mr. Mrs. E, I think maybe, or I don't know, maybe they were just showing the one that was received. But I think once YouTube, the YouTubers put that out, and I don't think they did that maliciously, like they were just showing like, hey, Carter responded. And then I think, in my opinion, I bet Carter probably got in trouble that he responded to a YouTuber, because anything they respond to, if they know a YouTuber is connected, then it could be, potentially, leaked out or however you want to call it. So I think they are very cautious when it comes to responding and who they respond to. So it's really super one-sided. But I can say that this definitely, we had communication with the church. And then all of a sudden, after we sent the info and everything, the church would not respond at all. And the person that we spoke to, they were very cordial. They were very nice. So I'm not saying because they didn't answer us back after the second time that they are, bad people or anything. I think maybe they were they clearly were in contact with law enforcement and probably were told to, um, not respond to any inquiries about, you know, any footage they may have because they do have cameras over there. And that's the thing is allegedly they saved some of their footage. God, I forget the full story. It's been a while. Because I know they got a new camera system since he went missing. That seems to be like the common theme for a lot of people. But if I recall, they did save the footage in the one phone call that one of our sources had with the pastor, I believe. It may have been the secretary. I'm not sure. So, to me, this begs the question, then did we know at the very least Sumner County Sheriff's Office received it, and I believe we sent this over to FBI, but was this enough for them to go and investigate? And I'm meaning FBI or, somebody besides Sumner County. So if they didn't, then I think this would be great if this document, this report gets them on the path, because who knows what footage, and of course they may have all the footage, and we've known in other cases that sometimes they miss stuff. I mean, you always need new fresh eyes. Oh, so many people donating. Thank you so much, guys. That means so much. I hate asking you. Hopefully you guys know. But I promise you, as long as health is good, every second I get that I'm not working either on a live or a video, I am working on the report, unless I'm resting, of course. And I'll talk about where the report is at towards the middle or something when we get most people in. Groovy Gal, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Michelle, you're like a dog with a bone, Chris. Thanks for not giving up. You're awesome. Oh, I thank you so much. Keep in mind, I really appreciate you guys' love and support. And there's others behind the scenes that are just as fierce, tenacious, and are working on certain things that, may come to light, may not, it just kind of depends if it goes somewhere. Okay. The next thing, and I'll show the report just, again, it's just a small screenshot, but I will show it here. I just wanted to allow people to come in. But I have some other ideas about how to get this report after it's sent to the FBI, how to get it out to the masses the best way we can. And I'm curious to see what you guys think. So this video, obviously they have this video, but I think this video, in my opinion, shows premeditation. If you've seen my video, how, in my opinion, that if a second car had came, not the silver sedan, but the car that comes at 303, if that is the case, then that means that subject 1 and 2, they're already out there moving before this car arrives. So that means that they're alerted. So this is, to me, this is a premeditated plan that, it's been planned out. And then also, I mean, there's many different angles to say shows that this is premeditated, but the fact that they're moving around and you have them doing that just before the car turns on to Stafford, which then invokes the motion light to go off. And we'll come back to my favorite person because, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you what I always kind of combine that word. Chat GPT showed me about Mr. Fish Sticks. And I think it's going to be huge because, again, I thought he was going to be kind of an afterthought, that I wasn't really going to put him in the report and leave him for kind of the public aspect of it. But after asking ChatGPT and giving some examples of what he did, aka this, what he did here, what he did blurring this stuff, what was his reason, and then of course our sources on what's actually going on in this clip is going to be huge because obviously he's seen it and knows what's in it, and for him to not only put this out once but twice, he's attacked everybody and their dog who went against the stink feet. And it's just ludicrous. It's mental. And yeah, and if you guys have any ideas as I go through these, and this is one right here that I think this is where chat could come in. Maybe if you guys can use some aliases on, because here's a question: who has Sumner County or any agency that's involved? Who have they interviewed or who haven't they interviewed? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that, right? Because what if Sumner County, let's just take Carly, for instance, the neighbor with their surveillance, right? That literally handed it over to Fisher, and then Fisher manipulated it, trying to say, look, there's nothing going on, which we can literally prove, not theorize, prove that he was full of shit. And he handed that to Fisher, which tells me, in my opinion, Carly is close with the stink feet. And in my opinion, allegedly has something to hide. So my question would be, out of persons, and please put it in the chat, it doesn't have to be related to this particular incident, right? But in just the entire case. Or if you want to put a first name, you can. We don't have aliases, I guess. But mine would be Carly. Mine would be right at the top would be Carly. Like, did they do an actual interview with this guy? I'm sure they talked to him because obviously he was driving around with them, driving around in an ATV, in my opinion, getting some inside information as they're collecting video footage, knowing which houses actually captured something, which ones probably didn't, and eventually some malfunctioned. To me, I allegedly think he was kind of there as a plant to feed stink feet information. And personally, I think he's subject one. Or if you just want to kind of generalize that, I think he's one of the two subjects moving around. That's just my opinion. I have heard of another alternate theory that it wasn't Katie that made it home, but it was actually Lori. In hindsight, Coop, please help me out. You guys know much more about Lori, but Lori from Illinois, who somehow was there the next early in the morning, who allegedly, like, I forget how long it would take for her to get from her home to the stink feet's home, but she thought that maybe it could have been Lori that drove her car back. I forget the exact theory. It's interesting. And she thought Lori could have been one of them, and then Katie would have came back at some point. I forget her entire theory. It's interesting, but Michelle's number one, Carly. That's a good question, Crazy Bird. And so that's the thing is like interviews, like actual interviews, like come into the station or at the very least, because I'm sure they probably went in, especially the ones that had footage and said, okay, what do you have? What do you see? What do you know? And as far as I know, they did interview. And when I say interviewed, they just, when they went to the homes, they asked those people questions. But, you know, some of these people I think need to be brought in, or were they brought in at all? And what is their story? And what is their story compared to all the other stories that they have gotten? Does their timeline line up with what others? Is it almost kind of too late? But still, I think it'd be worth pulling certain individuals in. Oh, thank you so much, Alicia. I know, it's just, when a case kind of gets still, I don't blame people. They just kind of go where the big, Nancy Guthrie, whatever. Um, there's nothing against that. It's just how kind of, you know, how it works. And I just want to say, Linda, thank you so much for gifting 5 Mob Crew memberships. That is so sweet. I will have kind of like an extra little sneak peek when I get a little bit closer. For the members, we'll kind of maybe do a live or something. Um, Again, most of it we won't show until after it's done, but maybe, you know, we'll see what we can do. Michelle, appreciate everything you've done for Sebastian. Thank you so much, Michelle. Did all neighbors respond back to all or in a report? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Did anybody hold back any surveillance? As far as I know, I don't think so. There could be. Here's the question: is like, with the cemetery, that adds a whole new revenue, revenue avenue of areas to get footage, not only from the church because they have cameras, but the surrounding neighborhood or what's on Long Hollow, right? What kind of footage did they recover from people that lived on Long Hollow? Did they recover any of those? So yeah, that leads to so many outlets. I not that I know of, Crazy Bird. I think that maybe is a mistaken rumor. Yes, Sassy. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get too sidetracked. I'm not saying you're sidetracking me. It's a great comment. Because yeah, again, I can only go off a couple of sources, but yeah, when they talked to the TBI and one of the things is they knew that the whole 3 a.m. when they said there was garbage truck lights, like they said, like, no, I know that's not garbage truck lights, and the TBI was like, no, that's garbage truck lights. Don't argue with us, and they got really firm with this particular source, and they were, blown away with how they were treated. Not saying that's how everyone was treated, but yeah. So I think in that context, yeah. Um, and oh, and Kimberly and Susan, thank you so much, guys. Um, if I, oh, and Angela, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. If I miss something, please just let chat know if I forget to thank somebody. I'll show a little sample of the report here in just a bit. But again, so the question is to continue is like, for me on my list at the very top would be Carly. Has he been brought in? Remember, if anybody doesn't know who Carly is, he's the neighbor behind the Proudfoots. Definitely, it is known that through the neighborhood that he helped Katie out with Sebastian when Chris was gone off at work, and whatnot. So, and then of course, rumors potentially more than just a friendship. But there was definitely a connection, more than just being neighbors. So, again, did they ever bring him into questioning? Bring him in, not just go to his house, say, hey, because obviously he had footage. But there's other thing I was going to say, but I should hold back on that for now. But yeah, that's at my top of my list. Let me know while I still have that up. If you have anybody, I mean, we're going to pull up a couple other people, but I think. Oh, when you're talking about Lori? Yeah, that's funny. Somebody else has a similar theory, so maybe in a future live, I'll kind of bring that up as a kind of a side subject. So, but yeah, that to me, I would love to know, has he been brought in? I'm just looking to see if I see any names real quick, and then we'll move to the next one. The report I'll show you here in a second. Again, it's not going to be much because again, has to be tweaked quite a bit. Oh, Jacqueline, good to see you. I know. You got a laundry list there. And there's something that ChatGPT I asked as well as because another thing about this case, when we talk about persons of interest, is this case seems to be littered with. I mean, you've got allegedly Chris Katie, you got two, Carly allegedly, Green Hoodie, that's four. Like, just I think, in my opinion, just no brainers. In my opinion, you've got multiple vehicles, at least 4 or 5 vehicles, and when I like, 2 of them would be at the cemetery, and we don't know exactly what they are. Then you got the Jeep, the silver sedan, and then the unknown 3 a.m. car. So you got multiple vehicles, at least I would say, I mean, it has to be at the very least 3 to 4 people, like more or less directly involved, and then maybe 2 plus others that may have helped in the aftermath or something. And that is such an unusual thing for that many people to be involved, and a case like that to not crumble because of somebody talking, a mistake made by one of them, because each person you add in, that's just more potential of a mistake, talking, what have you. And it just kind of goes against the statistics of something like this going on unsolved for this long. Or footage in general from the in-laws now. Ooh, Tasha. I like that. I'm sure people have mentioned that probably before in the past, but yeah. And I think that would kind of focus on Crispy and Katie, I guess, too. But yeah, I think that's a great one. Yes, the socks. Yes, the socks. The only one that really we could mention would be Mama Socks, because there is at least 2 alleged sightings that we could mention. Um, but yeah, and even just that, yeah, Mama Socks for sure. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So now let's get to the FBI and what concerns me and why I have a little bit of faith. A little bit of faith. It's kind of like double-sided because I'm sure you guys remember their statement that they put out. Do I still have it up? Yeah. Oh no, this is the other one. This is the FBI one. FBI. Of course, it doesn't have my last FBI. It's not the update one, though. It's I don't know. It might pop up here. It's not that one. Not that one. There it is. Searching for Sebastian Rogers. I gotta remember that. Searching for Sebastian Rogers. So of course, a blog that the FBI put out, of course, giving just a summary of what happened, and then of course the absurd thing that they put, especially for both of them, really. And this just makes me wonder, and I'm curious what you guys think in chat. So, of course, the first one, rumor theory. And let me go full screen so I can read it and you guys can see it a little bit better for just a second. But of course, let's see. I just want to get to the main part. At first glance, the lights appear to be right in Sebastian's yard, suggesting someone's lurking with 2 flashlights in hand. Well, no, actually, 2 people with flashlights in hand, I think would have been worded better. Potential suspect given Sebastian's disappearance. Actually, 2 suspects. However, law enforcement further investigated the video. They disproved this theory. The dark sky camera angle combined with the distorted security video, blah, blah, blah. When examining the topography of the area, it was found to be headlight trucks. Law enforcement further investigated, confirmed flashlights were actually headlights. Obviously, it's absolutely nonsense. And then the absolute absurdity of it all is they also created an overlay, which is I do those overlays for you guys, right? But they did daylight with the topography map to basically say that it was coming from a hill. And basically they're referring to Gary Hughes' video. So this is absolutely absurd. So let me know in the chat. Do you guys think this is what the FBI was told, or do they know better and this is just all for show? It would give me a little bit of faith that they were just told this, although it's really hard to think that they would tell the FBI this. But the kids sitting up on the flashlight test. I agree. Well, she lawyered up back in August, right around the time that FBI put out that reward. That was no coincidence. So here, why I stayed full screen here's just a little screenshot of our work, and I say our because it's not just mine. There's many people um, that have put so much time and effort into this. Um, and so this is just the first part. This is kind of goes over obviously kind of the beginning, which is the cemetery, and this is the night before. And if you see any of the blue, that means that there's either a video or a photo that the FBI or whoever else it gets sent to can click on that, and that will have again a photo or video. And you guys know my videos I put out. I made specific ones for the FBI that are very short and concise and to the point, to convey, what we're trying to explain. And so you can see we have the time frames of when things are going on. And then I have a little summaries basically saying, hey, that night before, this appears to be, in my opinion, and of course, reading ChatGPT, I'll probably have it reworded a little bit better to less speculate and more just like, hey, this appears to be a staging area or potential staging area, something like that. I mean, I would think they would know a little bit better. I heard obviously, and also that it wasn't directly the FBI that would likely put this particular statement out. It was some kind of potential intern or something, but still, like they had to get their information from their sources or whatever. So I don't know unless they were specifically told to put that nonsense in. I don't know. Um, as you can see, this is just one of 15. And this is a nice number because with ChatGPT, it said, please keep it to 5 to 15 pages. Anything longer, they're going to get disinterested. And obviously, we want, especially all of our hard work and time we put in this years, that we want to make sure that we grab their attention and keep it, and we keep it that it's concise, cohesive, and yeah. And ChatGPT will definitely be a huge help. It is definitely opened my eyes on how to specifically word things to make it more fact-based than speculation, because it emphasizes that a lot in the kind of when I the Chat GPT thing, which I'll pull up again here. Then the next person on my list is Green Hoodie. Do we really know who Green Hoodie is? Even though it is so weird. So, according to FBI's story, law enforcement spoke. This is absolutely nuts. I'm not reading the first part because it just says, hey, weird Green Hoodie person interacts with Katie. Second part says law enforcement spoke with employees at the restaurant who confirmed this person in the Green Hoodie was a frequent customer and helped identify them. Well, that's absolute nonsense and an absolute lie. We literally have, thanks to, and I wish, At Night didn't go south on us. I'm sorry, but At Night just has lost all credibility. And what a shame, because you have Dog the Bounty Hunter. I really feel like other people should have been in charge of running the Twitter account. I really feel like they missed a big opportunity having Dog's name, and I feel like I'm sorry, they did not respect his name and what he could have brought to the table with his, obviously with his audience and name, brand name. I mean, he is a brand. But oh, and then who happened to be wearing the same green hoodie when they came back in, I guess another day, which is, it's all lie. And then of course Sumner County said, oh, we got a bunch of reports on December 13th or the 12th, and then we found them a couple days later. They interviewed Katie shortly after, and then they found Green Hoodie within 3 to 4 days. Which, if this person is not a frequent customer, they didn't pay for anything. They just went in and used the bathroom. The cameras, I mean, yeah, we can see Green Hoodie, but you can't do a facial recognition. If we had a 4K quality picture of this person, we could easily just anybody could just put that picture in Google and find some kind of Facebook post or whatever, an ID, but we can't. This person clearly, wherever the vehicle is parked, is outside a camera, in my opinion, on purpose. So how did they find this person? Unless Katie told who this person was. That would be the only way, in my opinion. Yeah, Libra, if we can, try not to mention any actual channel names or try to use abbreviations. My mods don't want to, block anybody's comment. The at night, man, it's sad. I don't want to tear other channels or people down. I just feel like they had a great opportunity in a brand, and I feel like they didn't respect it. That's just my opinion. People may feel differently. So, oh, thank you, Green Room. I appreciate that. Recently, Michelle, I mean, I have the one where she's at the home, I think when Silvers was driving by. But I'm not sure about any recent ones. So the other question would be, Green Hoodie. Obviously, I think that's pretty obvious. But here's what I question: does law enforcement, and more in particular FBI, because I think Sumner County knows most of this stuff, because I'm sure, actually, I kind of know, I've heard kind of through the grapevine that people send my stuff to Sumner County, even though I've said anything that I feel relevant gets sent to them through us, but I think it gets sent more than once anyway. So I've heard that they've kind of been annoyed with me, but I'm sorry, people care about Sebastian, and I can't help that. I do not encourage anybody, as far as sending my videos, unless there's something that I haven't seen that you see that you feel like needs to be reported to Sumner County. The other thing, and again, wait until we get towards the end, because I do have something really fun. But here's the thing: is does FBI know that Green Hoodie walked off? They didn't go back to their vehicle. They went and also, did FBI know that Green Hoodie had a phone that could have been what was exchanged with Katie, right? And there's, because it feels like they exchanged phones. And we can clearly see they have a phone. We've mentioned this, so I'm not going to try to regurgitate everything, but do they know? And the reason I bring this up is, have they done a geofence in this area or around this area? Or did they want to do a geofence but didn't have enough substance to get? Because I correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like geofence, they need like almost kind of like a warrant. Let me know in chat. Maybe I can chat GPT. I'm sure I could find that question out. But actually, now I'm kind of curious. I'm sure chat's gonna let me know here where I find out. Yes, they do. So, as a matter of fact, it changed back in 2024 because of Carpenter versus the U.S. So yeah, here's the question: did they have enough to geofence? What if they didn't geofence this area? Because we believe that, she, in my opinion, and I think a lot of others would agree that Katie likely was handed a burner phone. And then we see, Green Hoodie walk off, and we can see that she has the phone because it lights up right here. I know the quality is poopy because we're just so far out, but we can see the phone light up. Again, I edited this because, a lot of this stuff I've replayed, but we see when she walks off, or they walk off, that they have the phone lit up, and then they're only over there long enough to walk to a car because we've timed it and hand something off or whatever, and then walk back. So again, to me, this is super sus. And then the last thing is the vehicle. Do they know about the Jeep Wrangler? I know some people mentioned some other vehicles that look like Jeep Wranglers, so definitely could be Jeep Wrangler or something similar to that. And I've gone over, kind of how I ran it through Chat GPT and got the approximate height and I was going to say weight, height and size of the vehicle in question. And again, geofencing, potentially getting surveillance from surrounding areas. I know it'd probably be a little late, but you never know. But I think geofencing would be a big one. Lisa, was Green Hoodie involved in 3 a.m. traffic? Oh, do you mean like when the 3 a.m. stuff is going on, like with the vehicles and stuff? You know what? It would not shock me. That's a great question. Actually, would not shock me. Good to see you, Miriam, Cinderella, Jen, Lisa, Julia, Brandy, Bo, of course, wonderful hindsight, Jane. Oh, that is so sweet of you, Jane, to do that. That is awesome. Sometimes I try to be humble. I can't say I am the shining example of humble. Far from it. I try to be. So. Oh yeah. I know. I know that and I don't want to get sidetracked. Bullhorn Betty, I know, covers the case, but I looked at some of her recent stuff because I was kind of curious. Again, I've told you guys this, I really don't watch many other YouTubers for many reasons. I try not to get influenced, so I don't copy what they're doing. There's so many things, and then like sometimes drama or whatever. I try to stay in my lane. Occasionally, I point some stuff out. I try not to, because Sebastian is what's most important. But yeah. Summer XL says, thanks, Chris, for everything you do for Sebastian. You're doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say this every time. It is a community effort. So, and you guys are helping me out so much. Again, if you missed it earlier, and a lot of people have helped out, so it's hard to kind of mention this again. But unfortunately, Sebastian's case has lost a lot of traction. Like 6 months ago, I'd have 5 to maybe up to 1,000 people in my chat, but it's just what happens with the case as things get stale, especially we're 2 years out, and I can only come up with so many new things or ideas that aren't just regurgitating the same thing over and over. So people are going to eventually kind of move on. Yes, they care about Sebastian, but it's just kind of like, hey, I kind of want to see what else is going on, and I don't blame people. And then unfortunately the algorithm recognizes, what cases are being covered. And right now, like, my lives, when I'd finish, I'd pick up anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000, maybe 20,000 views for my lives. I'm lucky if I hit 5,000, which, is a bummer because I prefer to, usually make my money through ads, and not have to, like, as they call it, grift. So here's another angle, and we're gonna get to. Promise you, Snarky Chris is gonna come out, even though that's not the goal for today. But I promise you, it will be related. The other one is, how much can we prove or help push the FBI to look into this? Because as time goes on, time is kind of like, it's a double-edged sword, because as time goes on, whoever is involved, let's say, interviews, people's memory of stuff fades, kind of gets flipped a little bit, whatever. And of course, if you're going for surveillance 2 years later, a lot of people have probably gotten rid of that, so that makes that a whole lot harder. But the other side of that is technology moves on. AI, unfortunately, in some regards, because I feel like AI is taking over everything, does get better, along with computer stuff just in general, such as algorithms to better enhance video quality. Now, it's never going to be CSI, where they're taking, reflections from, oh no, it wasn't glasses. They took a reflection, I think, from somebody's eyeball, and then it was like a basketball that was on the ground. It was funny. It was really out there. I'm sure there's plenty others, but when's the last time? Because we know, allegedly, according to Katie, that the FBI cleared this up, and it's 100% Sebastian taking out the trash. But of course, that's just Katie's statement. And in my opinion, if that was the case, I feel like it'd be really important for law enforcement in general, if they were 100% that it's Sebastian taking the trash can out, or this is the Proudfoot home. So anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at, this is a Proudfoot home. We're just across the street. We're looking at the Proudfoot home. This is a garbage truck. This is at about 5:12 a.m. Now, one thing you're going to notice the colors. This camera is a ring. Yeah, it's a ring cam. But it is a nice ring cam for its time. And it has nighttime mode as well. Now, if there's any light activity that's very bright, it will go into, I guess, regular mode. And so that's why we see the colors, right? We see the amber, the reds, the blues. But if that's not going on, it should look like something like this, where it's black and white. It's infrared. That's nighttime mode. And that comes straight from Fish Sticks, who's, of course, hard to trust what he says, but I think that's one of the very few things he told the truth about. And the reason I bring this up is because, and thanks to Voices of Truth, who did a great video, and if I had time, I would have snagged that. They noticed that Katie and Sebastian almost kind of have like the same walk. It's almost like Katie's kind of been watching the way he walks. And of course, this is not the part. I think it's when they're kind of walking out before they exit the building. Correct me, guys, in the chat, ladies. But the other important thing is what they're wearing. More importantly, Sebastian. Now, of course, first thing is very interesting. They're both wearing the same shoes. I know we've kind of pointed this out before, but this will come back to the nighttime mode. Wearing jeans and a t-shirt. She's much more covered, no logos, and whatnot. And they both have white socks. So now, obviously, they leave approximately 6:25, just round it off. They get home, allegedly, we don't know 100%. They claim she got home within like 15 to 20 minutes. So that's just a little bit before 7 p.m. And then, according to her in one of the interviews, 15 minutes after they got home, so just a little after 7 p.m., if we're going off her word, he takes out the trash. Here's an example of kind of what people are wearing and then what it looks like in nighttime mode. As you can kind of see here. I forgot to grab the one with the white. Actually, no, he's wearing something different. Actually, what's funny is there was one where they're wearing the same things, and I think I grabbed the wrong one. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is this would have been in nighttime mode when the garbage can would have been taken out. So let me go full screen and I'll show you kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Because I think in the report, I think it would be if law enforcement, especially FBI with their technology, if they could go back and look at that video with maybe some new updated technology or maybe some more just tenacity and will to solve this case. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to turn on my AC a little bit. But I'm going to let this play here. Be right back. Okay. So as we zoom in here, that's the garage with the not porch lights, but floodlights for the garage of the Proudfoot home. We can actually see the trash can. That's the one that would have been wheeled out by allegedly Sebastian. Now I forget. I've done the distance before, and I forget my head. We're not talking more than 100 yards from this camera, right? So here's two concerns. Was the floodlights on? I doubt the porch light was on, which it's always on. That's one thing we mentioned many times in our lives before. But was the floodlights purposely still off, or are they automatic when she comes in and then they just stay on? And the other question would be, what outfit was he allegedly wearing that they could pin Katie down on? Because I'm sure they asked. Because did he get into his sweatpants? Because if he was in his sweatpants, those are Adidas pants, and those have white stripes on them. And I promise you, he would have lit up like a Christmas tree when he wheeled that garbage can out. Now, if he was wearing the jeans and the black shirt, obviously that would be a little bit more. He would definitely kind of just be a blob, which Seth said that's what it looked like. But rumor has it appeared to be someone wearing a hoodie. And of course, out of the two walking out of Texas Roadhouse, it was Katie wearing the hoodie. And then they run back in. And Katie emphasizes that the running back is proof that that's Sebastian. So I really think that if FBI would go back and look at this, I'm like, what are we looking at? Oh, it's because I'm pulling up Sweetie Pilo. I think, if we could word it in some way, pull up her conversation and put Seth saying, hey, no, it didn't look like him. And here's Katie saying, hey, we cleaned it up. But in my opinion, if they cleaned it up and that was Sebastian, let me know in chat. But don't you think they would have said, hey, Sebastian was last seen taking the trash out. It is on camera. Because remember, they updated, what was it, almost a year later? Or was it over a year later? I think it was over a year later. That they updated, because remember they said that he was last seen on the 26th, which was really, the morning and day after, or, or whenever something may have happened. But really, he was last seen technically, as far as the public knows that we know, is Texas Roadhouse in the video I just showed you where he's walking to the car. That, according to us, is the last known, and to my opinion, if they can't prove that this is Sebastian, I think that should be updated to he was last seen at Texas Roadhouse. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, it's tough. There's some ladies in here. Well, just more than ladies. There's a lot of you guys that I think got some really amazing memory. I can remember a lot. I'm good with remembering time stamps and stuff that I work on, but I think there's just so much to try to keep in mind. But then the next thing, and now we're going to get into where I really want to last little things, and then so I got two more things to go over here. And again, thank you to everybody. And I promise you, I'm saving, in my opinion, the best for last. But in my opinion,
his stepfather was not home, but when he went to bed on the night of the 25th of February, the whole story is that he went to bed at about 9 o'clock. Mom hears some shuffling or something at like 10 o'clock.
I really do miss her. I didn't watch every, well, actually, no, I can't say that. I don't know if I watched every video of hers. I think I grabbed the ones, especially where she was talking about the notes that she got. And she, in the beginning, before Fish Sticks came along and divided everybody, but she was in contact with this homeowner, not the property, but the people that own this camera. And, all the lights coming off and on. And the reason why, and I've explained this before, the reason why this camera, even though, it's still a distance away, it's almost kind of distant. As a matter of fact, if I recall, I remember doing a distance from, so that's the house that has the camera that's looking towards the front. It's kind of at an angle a little bit. And then the distance from this camera to the home, they're almost the same, if I recall. And it would be activated anytime one of the lights came off or on. Maybe not every time, but it clearly was getting set off multiple times. And that's because it's a nighttime mode, and so it's going to pick up any light source, right? And so that's why, she had all those times that were literally spot on. And that's how we could tell that she was definitely clearly had a relationship with that homeowner. Now, unfortunately, I don't want to single this homeowner out or anything. I really don't blame anybody. I think it's just, unfortunately, this case, and I think the Stink Feet have, who knows what kind of things that they may have done, and I'm not saying maliciously, but may have tried to befriend or whatever. But this homeowner, that's the one that Sweetie Pilo was speaking to in the very beginning. And the reason I'm bringing this all up, well, first is not long after Fish Sticks arrived, and it may have been slightly before, but apparently they were pretty open with the neighborhood, and obviously she was communicating with Sweetie Pilo and everything. But especially after Fish Sticks, they are, in my opinion, allegedly pro Stink Feet. And so, contacting them and trying to get any information from them would be, in my opinion, pointless. Oh, yes, I do, Geneva. Yep, I do. Oh, you got a new phone? Oh, they're super small? Oh, I'm sorry, Geneva. If you can put what kind of phone you have, like iPhone, I forget where they're at, 17 or Samsung Galaxy Ace, whatever. I could look up and see if there's anything for you, if you want. No worries, Cat Lady. I am going to probably start covering that. Of course, I'm not giving up on Sebastian. But yeah. Cutie Pie. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. I know the timing, how they kind of come in, and then when they leave, Green Hoodie almost appears shortly after. I would say you're not the only one that has observed that, but that is a great observation. Now, as far as putting that in the report, it's kind of a double-edged sword because, again, according to ChatGPT, unless, I don't know, that's something that maybe be like a footnote or a cliff note at the end, like, oh, hey, by the way, there's some interesting timing. Again, without making it too long. But yeah, because one thing ChatGPT said is, the more, you want to try to refrain from, I don't know. I'll pull up ChatGPT, so I'm not paraphrasing it. But again, yeah, that's a great eye. Yeah, you can send me an email if there's anything I can do to try to help. We try not to mention any of the creators unless I mention it, Libra, right? Only because people start then getting distracted in the chat, and I know everybody's different how they do their chat.
And into a
we here just figure sometimes it just gets the chat off track, and then it, depending on what channel you bring up, it'll bring up, some people are positive about it, negative, and then it just kind of starts dividing people. And yeah, again, I'm not an expert in this, but I've done it for 4 years, and I think we have a decent system down. We're not perfect. Everybody's different. Some people are just, they don't touch the chat. But anyway, back to Sweetie Pilo. What I wanted to bring out with her.
retention pond. The pond was then drained, but they still did not find anything. So let's see. So all this started on February 26th.
What I would like to do, and let me know in chat if anybody's had any emails with Lauren, because I've never spoken with her, but I think, and the reason I bring this up is because she clearly had inside information from this lady that, from the camera. And from my experience, from my other sources, they get told a lot of stuff, and sometimes, yeah, they write down notes just like I do, but sometimes there's stuff that maybe they can't share. And so there could be stuff left on the table that we don't know about that she was told not to say, and she respected that. And or maybe there's stuff that she was told that may seem irrelevant but is relevant, and it would be nice to speak with her to find out, hey, we've kind of got your highlights. Is there anything that you were told that you couldn't share with us, or is there something maybe you forgot that maybe you now feel is relevant, or whatever. So I think she could be a big piece, or a decent piece that could have context. And that definitely involves this whole night about what's coming on and off, right? Maybe she knows when exactly they got home. Like, that would be huge. I don't think we know. Like, I think we have an approximate time. I want to say, what's his name? The former sheriff. I know it's an S. Please help me out. Dyslexia. Sonny. I know he mentioned like 6:25 or something like that, but I think he was like maybe an hour off and meant to say like 7:25 when I think Sebastian was taking the trash out or something like that. Sonny, yeah. But anyway, I think she could be, a piece of the puzzle that, trying to think outside the box of where else could we get some information that maybe we don't know or she couldn't share. Yeah, and if you have emailed her, and maybe I missed it in chat, if you could email me and let me know, like, hey, yeah, I used to have conversations with her. Of course, I'm going to send her an email myself, but it would be nice to maybe know if somebody has, kind of a relationship with her, or rapport with her. Oh, Jane, thank you for mentioning that. So she says, "Hi, Chris. Wonder if you thought putting a hype button on your videos so everyone could push them for more viewing." Um, I think how does the hype work? How does the hype button work for YouTube? Do you need a certain amount of views beforehand on that video or live? Oh, so it's you guys that have 3 free weekly hypes. Oh, that's how it works. So it's actually okay. I always kind of thought like the video had to start to get a little bit of momentum before the hype button showed up. Um, yeah, I gotta look at that more. That's actually completely backwards from what I thought it was. So it's actually you guys have a certain amount within a week. I'll have to look more into that. That's a great question, but that's apparently how it works. But thank you, Jane. That's so sweet of you. Huge thanks for all you do. Still Sebastian Strong. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm about to get to just a couple more things. No, Chris, stop you and that weird lipstick. Okay. I already kind of talked about the geofencing. Now, of course, Green Hoodie had a phone. Did they geofence that? Did they geofence it all? Now, in one of the interviews, it's kind of funny. Fish Sticks, I was going to try to grab it, but I just didn't have enough time. He mentions that, oh, yeah, we did Cellubrite, we did geofencing, all that. And, of course, considering he's an alleged pathological liar, in my opinion, because he's just terrible at it, does make me wonder if that actually happened. And so if it didn't, obviously the other data we'd love to see is not only the geofence Cellubrite, but did the FBI ever know about the burner phone? Which not only did I notice, but I only noticed the one ear, but thanks to Voices of Truth, it's a combination of Coop and hindsight. They noticed that she actually does does one after another. Because the video kind of gets a little pixelated, but yeah, she's complete. She puts 2 earbuds in, and no, when she's arriving, we've looked at this before. When she's arriving, there is no sign of her pulling out headphones. So, now this part. But before I get to this, because I thought this was just going to be like I keep wanting to say an appetizer, a dessert for the folks that would after I sent the file to the FBI, and when we put it public, I would just add in an extra piece with all Fish Sticks reported, lies that I can literally just absolutely shut down, like 100% fact-based, proof that he lied. And I mean, there's a laundry list. Jen, thank you so much for the jewels. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look out for them. They don't make it easy on me. They make it so small. I think I showed that the other live. But before this, well, actually, I'll show you this, and then I'm going to show you the other thing that I want to do. Because I thought involving him, like his stuff, would probably be. I thought it would be relevant, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't really planning on putting his stuff in there, really. And now, when I gave them just one example, which is, him lying about how, there's nothing going on here at 3:06 a.m. And of course, we've already gone over, there's plenty going on. And I asked, would it be a legitimate angle to focus on in the report? Because clearly he was hired by the stink feet. And, would this help, further the report? And it said yes, especially if there is stuff that I can legitimately prove with facts, which is with him, it's not hard. Like, he is just terrible liar that, and of course, this, I have to be careful on, because it says, like, well, make sure you don't say Steve Fisher lied to protect the Proud Bloods. Kind of gives you examples of what not to put in the report, but stay like, he claims this knowledge, but yet this proves that it's something else, which would mean that there is stuff going on here, and it just gives me examples on what to put, like, why was it redacted? Was movement ruled out? And so, yeah, it said yes, put that stuff in there. And so, again, I was not planning to put that in there. And my God, he is a gold mine when it comes to absolute bullshit and lies that I can debunk without breaking a sweat. So, thank you to Michelle. Oh, I did get an email from somebody that I think maybe knows Sweetie Pilo. Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for that Venmo. Michelle, I'm sorry. So many names I'm looking at. And I'll get to chat here in just a second. Actually, yeah, let's do that. But yeah, that was something I was not planning on doing. And I think it's going to be huge because, in my opinion, he was allegedly, he was hired to distract people from the truth and lead them down a different path with the stupid dogs and, I got all this footage and there's nothing going on here. I'm going to redact stuff. I'm going to claim that we know certain cars and who's the driver. All this BS. I hope it's not 3 a month. That's terrible. It said 3 a week, but maybe, I don't know. I'm going to look into that, though. Okay, 3 a week. People are saying 3 a week. That would make a little bit more sense. I'm not sure, Michelle. I'm going to look into that. It's a great question. Lynn, thank you so much for the $4.99. You guys are awesome. And I'm hoping that what I'm showing you guys, and again, I know if you missed it, I'll show you just a little snippet of the report. Of course, got to save that. But I mean, all of this stuff, the driveway stuff. One of the things, and I think this is going to be damning. To me, this I think will be really damning, is the fact that they try to push this 5 a.m. theory. And we know, and you know why we know it's not 5 a.m.? Well, multiple reasons, honestly. But one of the main reasons is because the idiot posted, this. So we know exactly what time subject 2 was walking back to the house because of this. But yeah. But we'll have all these quotes. Obviously, I'm not going to put every single quote, but just take one quote, and then I'll add in Crispy's quote of saying, yeah, this all took place at 5 a.m., and then I'll be able to back it up with factual evidence that no, this is not at 5 a.m., and here are the different reasons. One, Fish Sticks' timestamp that he put out of the image I just showed you of the backyard. And then 2, the homeowner that has the 3M footage that has the timestamp frozen, he literally has said to multiple people, including one of our sources who has been documented, their interview is in there, where he says, yeah, it happened at 3 a.m. This is how I've gone over it before. They knew that the trash can was at 5 a.m., and they just went 2 hours back, and there was the car and the lights. It wasn't very hard. And so how many times they keep bringing this up, that Fish Sticks brings this up, because he does this, on this one's on clearly Aiden's, the Lore Lodge. He does it on Cluminati or whatever. So 2 that I can think off the top of my head. I want to say there's 3 incidents, and I'm sure there's probably more. But, as long as we grab like 2 along with that, and then just bring the proof, and then just put at the bottom, the summary of why would their hired PI deceive, I'd have to find the proper word that ChatGPT would find that would be recommended to use. But why would he, I'm just going to say what I would say, why would he try to deceive the public? I'd really want to say why would he lie about it, but why would he deceive the public on what time all this happened when we have basic facts that this happened at 3 a.m.? And I think that will be, in my opinion, I think that would be pretty damning. I mean, not only for the stink feet, but I think for if we can get this, get the attention. And so the last bit before we finish up is I mentioned we get this finished. I am working my ass off, and thanks to your guys' support, that'll give me a day that I can take off from trying to make a video or do it live. And I know there's some people in here that know that I've been crunching the last couple days on the report. And tomorrow I am going to be that is going to be my entire focus. And I would say, like I said, we have 15 pages done. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Even the stuff I put in, it needs to, now that I've kind of got the Chat GPT and what, how they kind of said to format it, so that it gets taken seriously and doesn't get discarded away right away. That's the report. Oh, here it is. So for anybody that missed it earlier, again, this is just one little snippet. I'll go full screen for real quick. And then there's one more thing that I want to try to do, and I'm curious to see what you guys think in chat. I think this could be really big. And then I'll read chat for 5 minutes. So this is the top of the report. And obviously the start right now is the cemetery, which is, 24 hours before everything goes down. And then, as you can see, I got kind of the time, first the date, and then the time where it's taking place. And then anything that's in blue is a link to like a picture or a video to back up what is said in here. And, this will probably need to be kind of shortened down a little bit and revised. And and then just kind of a summary of what, of this. And then as you can see over here, I'll let it play for a second. And again, obviously I can't show everything because some stuff will need to be redacted, and you guys will be able to, when it comes out, I'm sure you'll be able to see like 80 to 90% of it. It'll just be a few things that we'll have to redact. But most of you guys will be able to see. But as you can see, that is 1 of 15. And again, it's not just me. This is other people that have done work for over, 2 years, putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this and getting it just kind of cohesive and put together. So last thing. So I was thinking, and let me know in chat, this is my top option. Gosh, fish sticks, will you comply with me? You little turkey. Sorry, I'm back. Is I want to email. Mr. Aiden himself on Lord Lodge. We know he's done 2 videos and then 2 live shows that I can think of. I'm pretty sure he's done 2. Maybe he's done 3, a 3-part. I know there's at least 2 parts, right? And then he's done, obviously he did the live show with fish sticks where he's lying throughout his teeth, allegedly, fish sticks, of course. And then he had Seth on. But it was clear that he, especially when he was talking about the 3am video and stuff, it's clear that unfortunately he just did not know much about that or research that. And what would be awesome is, and I'm going to email him tomorrow, it would be great to kind of get in touch with him early and let him know what's going on and see if he would be down to do, if he's only done, I know he's done 2 parts. Please correct me. I'm pretty sure he's just done 2 parts. Let's see. Part 3, there's part 2. I don't think there's a part 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just 2 main videos and then the 2 lives. Correct me if I'm wrong in chat. But basically, what I would love to do, because he's got such a wide audience, I forget what his, let's see what he's up to right now. As far as subscribers. So he's, God man, he's getting close to 1 million. He's close to 800K. I'm climbing to 100K, but he's close to 800K. Could you imagine if we could get in contact, send him this report, and say, hey, look, here's what you got. Have your team look at it, see what they think. This has already been sent out. Would you be willing to do like a part 3 I guess he did do a part 3. Okay, I'm wrong. Yeah, he did do a part 3. So he did 3 parts and then he did 2 lives that I can think of, at least with interviews. He may have done another one. Let's see. Yeah, he's got 4 up. But yeah, how cool would that be if, it's part 3, one of his lives then maybe.
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool.
It's going to take me 2 seconds to skip you. He did do a part 3. But I really feel like, oh, we kind of covered Nina, part 3. But yeah, how cool would that be to have him? And I mean, I don't see why, with the amount of information that we'd be giving him since the last time he's covered this. And I know for those that have been really close to this, know that him and Fish Sticks left on really bad terms. Like Fish Sticks was calling him a PDF file, which is really just childish, typical Fish Stick stuff. And I mean, they do not like each other, and so I think it would definitely be maybe an extra incentive because we'll have so much dirt on Fish Sticks. Not that that's the goal, but that may be an incentive, along with the fact that he's covered this, and I think he's clearly got an audience for it that I think they would be interested. But let me know what you guys think, and if you guys think of any other potential channels. But that one is in my top list, only because the fact that he's done 3 parts to it. I know he has a team, because I know when you get big, you start getting teams. So usually he does, kind of the talking and the main stuff, but he has editors and isn't there 2 Aidens, I think, right? Something like that, is sidekick or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong if it's a different name, but I thought it was 2 Aidens. But yeah, he would be my top choice because again, like I said, just with his background, and I think he would pick up on that. Sassy, thank you so much. She says second time. Thank you so much. We hit the goal. You guys are awesome. That helps me out, and I promise you, as long as I am healthy and I am so devoted right now, and you guys are the driving force. Thank you so much again, Show Poodles. Geneva, again, thank you so much. And yeah, if you email me, if there's anything I can do behind the scenes, if I can, to give you any kind of tips, again, if it's more Apple phone, I can at least put in ChatGPT and see if I can get any kind of ideas that could help you. I would be more than happy to. He does extensive research. The only thing that I noticed, and again, this is not a knock to him, he just probably researched specific areas. You could definitely tell when he was speaking with Seth, and especially Fish Sticks, that he wasn't really familiar with the 3AM video. Like, I think he probably knows a little bit and saw a few clips, but I don't think he knew, like, saw my 3AM video or kind of knew how there was some funky business going behind it. And I wish if he would have known that, he could have probably pressed Fish Sticks on some harder questions. But unfortunately, it's a tough, especially, if you're switching over to a case, there's so much and so many areas you can go down. Grizzly True Crime, definitely. I don't know how much she still does live. Yeah, it's not bad. I love Grizzly. I love Gizla. She's an amazing person. But here's the last thing is, could they bring in Fish Stick for questioning? Of tampering, could they bring in Fisher PI for questioning? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of a no-brainer question. Anybody tampering evidence? I guess I should have worded that differently. That's a little. I mean, I don't know if it's tampering, but man, it's so damn near close to it, in my opinion. Oh, I love the snarkiness. I don't even need to get snarky. I got people in the chat. No, he didn't go as an attorney. He allegedly, again, I'm just saying this is a rumor. He apparently was some kind of law enforcement to go get the footage, and he was with Katie. That's what I heard. Maybe the attorney thing, but I'm not. But I feel like I heard he was claiming to be some kind of law enforcement. I don't know. Maybe it could have been an attorney, because I guess if you're posing as a law enforcement, you could get in serious doo-doo. So I'm not sure. But yeah, he was definitely posing as somebody. Maybe it was an attorney. Actually, that kind of makes more sense, because yeah, if you're posing as law enforcement, you would get in serious doo-doo. Okay, so we're gonna finish this up. Sleuthin coming in. Hope it helps, Chris. Appreciate all your work so much. Fish Sticks definitely could be an after the fact witness at minimum. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll probably lawyer up in a heartbeat, but I think if he lawyers up, I think that tells you a lot. But again, this is kind of that big swing we've been waiting to take for a long time, and I said I wanted to get it out in May, and unfortunately my health just it is what it is as you get older. But right now I'm doing well, and I'm super motivated, and because again, it is like I would say 80% done, maybe 75%, because now I'm gonna have to add some of the Fisher stuff in, but it won't take long, because really it's just like I have the video evidence stuff ready. It's just having to kind of put the words together. And yeah, but I think now, knowing that I can put that in for the FBI, I think that's going to be huge. So this is what I want to say is, I know some people, especially the members, we try to do some pet things, grab new pets, each month or every other month. Right now, this month, until I get this report out, I am solely focused on that. So, I'm still going to try to do some member lives, especially as we get closer to the report being done. Obviously I can't really show the report, but maybe I can kind of, hint at where it's at and, whatnot. But, yeah. But that is the goal. That is, and you guys help me, and I promise you I am going to show results. I wish I could show everything, but obviously we have to get it done first. And we want to kind of, hopefully, if we could use Lore Lodge's platform to release it. I know I want to do a Twitter thing or an X thing, however you want to call it, but man, if we could do that, get it off Lore Lodge, get a big platform to launch it, holy shit, that would be awesome. So, Hush Pup, holy shit. 50 memberships. I'm pretty sure that is like nearly a quarter of the chat, if my math is right. But thank you so much, Hush Pop. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. You are amazing. Please, if you could, show some love to Hush Pop for that. That is awesome. And I promise that as long as my health stays good, we will deliver. And I will be doing updates not every day, but a few times a week whenever I go live. But yeah. So with that, I'm just going to hush pup myself up. And thank you again, Hush Pup. And if I had time, I would thank everybody else. But I'll be here for another 20 minutes because holy cow. If by chance I missed you, let me know in chat real quick as I'm playing the outro so I can thank you. And if I do by chance get something in late, because sometimes my cell service, it is what it is. I will definitely thank you in the next live. So with that, I am going to do a pet outro, and we will be live likely Wednesday. And then I'm going to, at the very least, once a week, if not twice a week, kind of start doing other cases as well. Just because I don't want to keep begging chat every time when I cover Sebastian. I feel icky doing it. I know most people are happy to donate, and just, you guys are amazing. I'm going to stop talking. Love you guys so much. Mods, God bless you. And thank you to chat for being so great. I think there was just a few comments that had to be, kind of blocked, but I think everybody was awesome in the chat. I'm sorry I don't read every comment. But you guys are amazing. And this, again, it's all for Sebastian. And let's pray this works. And if there's anybody that has, I don't know if I mentioned this. Anybody knows Aiden? I know I mentioned Sweetie Pilo. If anybody has emails with Aiden or knows Aiden, if they could email me, that would be great too. Huge. Oh, thank you, Chris, for endless hours of hard work for this child. Whenever he is and Seth are loved. Oh, wherever he is. Thanks a prayer for your health, Chris. Love to the mods and you always. Thank you so much. Man, that's so awesome. Man, I cannot tell you how that rejuvenates me. So I'm gonna play the pet outro. We will see you guys in a few days. God bless you. And again, thank you, Sassy, Coop. I don't know if I saw Sensei in here, Jennifer, Pocahontas. Love you guys, and God bless. Yeah, that would be something. Right. I think he's definitely guilty of that. Again, thank you so much to everybody in the chat and all the donations, PayPal and Venmos. God bless you guys. I cannot wait to deliver this with the people that not only I did, but have helped work on this. Because again, this isn't just me. Oh, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Kim. Good to see you, Sharon. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. God bless. Thank you, Letitia, I think. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Belle. Good to see you, Marinum. Good night to you. Good to see you, Debutante, sorry. Debutante.